Okay, well, the title of this video is half a joke. I'm a chloé collector myself, and I love a good chloé paddington or margiela tabby as much as the next girl. This title is just my way of saying that I think that as we step into this new year, we should step into figuring out which items and brands we truly love instead of just buying the hottest pieces. 2026 is about learning what fashion means to you. That's what I hope people get from my channel. Beyond hot button brands and bags, learning about history, literature, film, and all the things that make our world beautiful and creative will help you learn how you want to come into the world and how you want to express yourself. Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Christelle, a fashion enthusiast and student who's interested in exploring the ways that fashion and fashion history have shaped our world. Through this channel, I hope to introduce people to things they may not have heard of, share some fashion history, and get a conversation going about the intersections between different forms of media like music and fashion. In this video, I'll be doing trend predictions for 2026. I try to come up with a list that was a reflection of what I've been seeing on social media, what we've been seeing on the runway, and some of the things that are going on in our political climate. At the end of this video, I'm going to talk about some of my personal fashion obsessions, and I'm going to put my insane gatekeeping on pause to let you know some of my recent purchases and inspirations. So let's jump right in. The first item that I foresee trending in 2026 is Edwardian pumps and 18th century ultra kitten heels. Hear me out. So here's a little backstory. During Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, my roommate and I, shout out Maya, were looking for going out boots, and we found this really cool cosplay website called American Duchess. On the site, they have heels, loafers, and boots from different historical eras. Their products represent everything from Victorian era to the 1950s and just everything in between. So while we browsed the site, we fell in love with Edwardian pumps and Victorian button boots. Edwardian pumps have this really cool curvature at the heel, and they create interesting shapes and silhouettes. The button boots are super stylish, and they remind me of this vintage pair of Miu Miu boots that I saw on Pinterest a few months ago. What we didn't expect to happen next was to see them all over Fashion Week and on different designers' websites. These are the best examples of some similar styles that we found in the Paloma Wool, Loewe, Anna Sweet, and Tory Burch recent collections. Interestingly enough, the Edwardian era, which happened between 1901 and 1914, was marked by political shifts and is referred to as a prosperous time and golden age for the upper classes of Britain. There was a rise in political consciousness and growing trade union movements within the lower classes at the time, and the Conservative Party dominated and ran on values such as imperialism, strengthening the military, and imposing tariffs. On the other hand, the Liberal Party lacked a strong ideology and clear identity. Now, I'm not saying that these brands did this on purpose, but I am saying that the parallels are uncanny. And I think it's interesting to see pre-war trends come back into fashion right now, juxtaposed with our current political landscape. I think it speaks a lot to the cyclical nature of fashion and the way that history can help us understand what's going on in the fashion space. The next trend that I am predicting is a bit more lighthearted. So throughout the year, we saw fig and maroon colors go down the runway at different houses. Some examples of this are chloé Fall Winter 2025 and Burberry Spring Summer 2026, Tory Burch Spring Summer 2026, and Colmayer 2026 Spring Summer as well. A lot of these brands chose to pair this deep purple with a red color, which I think could be a nice color combo, especially in the colder months as we're approaching the depths of winter. I'm sure you've seen this one all over because it's already trending, but I definitely think the military jacket will reach its peak in 2026 and eventually fall out of style in 2027. This style of outerwear is becoming more mainstream by the day, and there are definitely a lot of people I see referencing the Balmain 2011 show. I think it was spring, summer, might have been fall, winter, 2011. And I mean, it's definitely a cool outer piece. So if you love it, I wouldn't say you should refrain from purchasing it whatsoever. But as with all things, just make sure you actually like something before you buy it, because you don't want to try to sell it in a year for a loss. Side note, if anyone would be interested in a resale video, I would love to make something like that. Something along the lines of giving tips for reselling and maximizing your returns, knowing when to buy and knowing when to sell, as well as knowing what to buy and what to sell. Let me know in the comments if that interests you, because that's something that I've actually gotten oddly good at within the past like 2.5 years. So next up is one that I'm really excited about and hoping for. I think that DIY or do it yourself will be so in for 2026. With rising cost of living and ambiguity surrounding food security and day-to-day costs, I think people will definitely be looking to like modify the things that they already have instead of buying more items. We've already seen this with the bag charm trend a little bit, and people really want customization. They really want unique pieces. But I think that we'll be seeing this a lot more with clothing items and actual other accessories. So, if you don't already know how, I would suggest learning how to hand sew or how to sew with a sewing machine. You can transform your wardrobe into exactly what you envision, and you can have one of a kind pieces for a fraction of the price. Someone who I want to spotlight that's really good at doing this and makes really cool art is Abby Drake or Boopy Shmurda on TikTok. She has a tried and true style identity, and I've been watching her content for years. She's not really fashion focused. She kind of does like a little bit of everything, like opinions and takes and just general conversations with her followers. And but I think that her style inspiration and the style inspiration that I take from her is comes mostly through her DIY stamps and crafting videos, some of her hand sewn pieces, and her home decor projects. She's also a good writer, and just a good like artist in general. So she's just someone great to follow. Another trend that I think is absolutely going to take off is small top and small bottom combos. This is for both the male and female side of the fashion space, as we're seeing a rise in skinny jeans and thinness as a beauty standard. There's a whole Hedi Slimane size 26 jean trend going on with the guys on TikTok, and with the girls, there's always going to be that side of the internet. So this trend is fine in isolation, but against the backdrop of everything else that's going on in the world right now, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I mean, wear what you love and feel confident in, and don't get sucked up into weird corners of the internet, and I'm leaving it at that. Kind of along those lines, though, I think there'll be a rise in people trying to get nicher and nicher with their fashion. The online fashion space has been transforming from a supportive community into like a name five songs type of environment. And I think that knowledge of super niche brands, not necessarily love for those brands or understanding of the brand's identity, but just knowledge that the brand exists will become like even more of a social cachet in the next year. All I have to say about that is that all we can do is like what we like because we like it. You don't need to explain yourself because your favorite brand is like Miu Miu or something. I think that's a bit ridiculous. And anyone who gatekeeps in that way like never knows much about fashion themselves. So I think it's just not worth it to try to appeal and like pander to those people. The next trend that I see in 2026 is movement. I think the best example of this on the spring summer 2026 runway is Louise Trotter's Bottega. The skirts, the innovative material, the way they swayed down the runway, like all of it. I think people will want to stand out. They want to make a statement. And I think that movement and extravagance will be their way of doing so in the coming years. And I also think that like materials wise, like I think designers are going to start using recyclable materials and trying to get like really inventive with the ways that they're introducing different like social or political issues into their pieces, and that includes making it part of the piece physically. I mean, obviously we've seen a lot of designers be inspired by what's going on around them, but I think that like implementing the world into the actual physical composition of like a fabric is something that we're going to be seeing in 2026. Now I'm done with my general predictions and like ideas of trends. So I'm going to move into some specific pieces that I think will be in style next year. Some specific pieces that I'm seeing that I think will really blow up next year are the YSL Mombasa bag, the Celine Phantom, the Chloe Marcy, and the Chanel Cambone. I've been banking on the Mombasa for about a year now, and it's finally re entering the conversation on TikTok. Though it's kind of isolated to the fashion community right now, I think the tamer styles will be able to break through next year. So think like any solid colors that are not really out there, like a black YSL Mombasa bag is something that I would really recommend buying right now if you can find it for like under $500. The Celine Phantom and the Chloe Marcy are such staple bags that I can see them having a breakthrough. I think the Chloe Paddington made a lot of people pay attention to Chloe as a brand, which then made them pay attention to Phoebe Philo, and then that led them looking into Celine. And so I think that whole pipeline is why those bags will be super popular soon. And I've been seeing the Celine Phantom randomly out and about. I know it's a popular bag with people who just like that quiet luxury style or, that kind of niche part of fashion. But I also think that it's going to become really big with people that like more avant-garde style, because I think it's something you could really dress up or down. It can be casual, it could be professional. So I think those like versatile bags, the Phantom and the Marcy, are definitely going to be popular soon. Now for a bit of what I'm into right now. This is the most exciting part of the video for me. Okay. The number one thing that I'm into is sourcing and not asking. Now, I know it's easy to ask someone where they got something from, but nothing beats the thrill of seeing Maddie Perez wear an amazing top in her Euphoria Season 2 episode trailer, and then spending 5 hours to search for it, only to find the exact blue marine top listed before anyone else on the internet does. Those 5 hours bring up a lot of questions. Is it really worth it? Do I want this that badly? Why am I still doing this? Giving yourself time to find items makes you engage in deliberate thinking and helps counteract impulsive purchasing. So the next time you see something, ask yourself, do I want to take the time to find this item? If the answer is no, you can't possibly want it that bad. If the answer is yes, then search and search until you find it at a reasonable price. The next thing that's in is knowing your references. Love her or hate her, but Addison Rae is a great example of this. You couldn't stump her with a question of what she's pulling from or which old Hollywood greats nachos she's reheating. In addition to just knowing your references, you have to know that references don't exist in a vacuum and that you should not, as a fashion lover, only know about fashion. You should be looking into film, music, and culture. Do you really love rock and roll style if you don't know Pamela DeBarge? And if you don't know Pamela DeBarge, do you really identify with Penny Lane? When you really love something, you just have so much fun learning everything about it. And that just makes your love grow even stronger. So knowing your references is so in for next year. Now moving on from concepts into rapid fire items. I'm loving brooches. All brooches, big brooches, little ones, vintage, new, jewels, figures, brooches on a coat, brooches on a dress, brooches as a hair accessory, all over, all the time, everywhere. I know it's a bit like of an older lady thing, but I think they can be young. Just like how I feel like big, like really long logo print all over Chanel pieces can be really young and like fun, but they can also be really old. It's just about how you style them. And I think that having a cool brooch and just being a brooch girl and owning that is super cool. Next is vintage jewelry. So I'm talking eBay jewelry bundles, estate sale jewelry, flea market jewelry. All of it is super amazing. And I think that one-of-a-kind pieces and curating a collection that is uniquely you is the best thing that you could possibly do with jewelry. I love like seeing people with such unique style identities that you can see something when you're just shopping like for yourself and you could see something and be like, they would love that. The next thing is high heeled. Gone. are sneakers. Be done, sneakers. As I approach my 22nd year, high heels and being able to walk in the highest heels possible will be my top priority. I literally sold or gave away all of my sneakers except for my class shoes and my workout shoes. High heels or ballet flats, all 2026. The final thing I'm into is my Pinterest board, Molly Smiles. It was inspired by Uptown Girls and Molly Gunn's style and vibe, and I absolutely love it. It's like a combination of her style and my personal style, and I just feel like it's so cool, and I really love the color palette. Now that you've made it to the last part of the video, this is my gatekeeping pause. Here are some awesome things that I've been gatekeeping, but I'm sharing with you now because you made it all the way to the end of this video, and I appreciate you so, so, so much. Thank you very much for staying. Number 1, the Stella McCartney Falabella bag, specifically in the color Huckleberry, or the white one with the silver studs. Number 2, my prized possession, the Burberry Warrior bag as seen on Serena van der Woodsen. Number 3, the Chloé Inez bag, which is a cute little going out bag. Number 4, Roger Vivier pumps. Love Roger Vivier. 5, ponchos. All types of ponchos, mesh ponchos, wool, knit, anything, but I love a poncho right now, and I've been gatekeeping ponchos, especially ones with lace and like little fringe at the end. So cute. Number 6, the entire chloé Spring Summer 1999 collection. It's my style inspo right now. It's on every board. Such a beautiful collection. Number 7, a camcorder and a PSP to add to my vintage tech collection. I already have like an iPhone 4, iPod Nano, 3DS, and I have a Digicam. I have a Polaroid camera. I have a record player. So I just really love collecting like vintage technology, and that would definitely be, especially the PSP, because I want to get Silent Hill. That would be the next thing I want to add to my tech collection. Thank you so much for staying. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next Saturday for another banger. Bye!